Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. To begin this discussion on informed consent and ethical practice, I want to begin by looking at scripture, specifically from the English Standard Version Bible in Romans 13:18 through 8 through 10. It begins by saying, "Owe no one anything except to love each other." And then it bookends the end of that section by saying, "Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law." And the key point there is love. And love is the driving force of treating others with a Christ-like manner. And that's really apparent in the two greatest commandments, Matthew 22:36 through 40, to love God with all you have. And then out of that overflow, to love your neighbor as yourself. And so this really is the idea of how love can propel us to treat each other with integrity and to create a correlation between Christ-like actions and our respect for one another. And this can translate into the counseling profession as well. The informed consent that I found was from LifeWorks Resources LLC in Jackson, Tennessee. I really wanted to find something in Tennessee since that's where I'm from. And Tennessee law, according to the Administrative Code 0450 01-.13 regarding professional ethics, licensees and certified counselors must comply with the 2014 ACA Code of Ethics. So for the purpose of today's interaction with LifeWorks Resources LLC informed consent form, I'm going to be using the interaction with the ACA Code of Ethics since the state of Tennessee uses that as their ethical guidepost. The very first part of the informed consent speaks to the client's freedom of choice, which goes right along with Section A.2.A in the ACA Code of Ethics 2014. The informed consent begins with a greeting that points the client to ask questions, to seek understanding, to make sure that this facility is the right fit for them since they have that freedom of choice. And then the next part of the informed consent goes on to have those required elements as listed in Section A.2.B in the ACA Code of Ethics. So they begin LifeWorks begins by clarifying and defining the purpose and the roles of the counseling relationship, really pointing to that foundational element of empowering the client, but making sure we're empowering the client while they also understand the counselor's responsibilities as well as their client responsibilities. Now, LifeWorks is a Christian facility, and their tagline is counseling and resources from a biblical perspective. But they do know in the informed consent that they do accept, and rightfully so, counsel those from different belief systems than theirs. And so this is where they want to be clear and upfront that they're coming from a biblical perspective, but the benefit is that anyone is welcome. There's also clarity of confidentiality except in certain exceptions, such as mandatory reporting or court-ordered reporting. And I wanted to find out more about court-ordered reporting as our textbook mentioned it just a little bit. And I found in the Family Journal, Counseling and Therapy for Couples and Families, Anne Ordaway and Ariel Casanovas had an article in there, a subpoena, the other exception to confidentiality, where they really point for the need for counselors in training, like myself, to have more education in legal proceedings. In the counsel relationship, such as responses to subpoenas or appearing in court, just so that they are adequately prepared. Now, they won't know all the ins and outs because we are not lawyers, but be adequately prepared and represent the profession in an ethical and professional manner. The rest of the form points to payment, session expectations, and clarification of agreements by signature, as well as including the HIPAA and other federal requirements that are needed within there. The final part of LifeWorks Resources LLC's informed consent points towards how the client at LifeWorks can expect to be treated, beginning with the explanation of the informed consent through termination in a respectful, dignified, discriminatory-free manner, which is right along with the ACA Code of Ethics A.2.C, where you are going to be approached in a developmentally and culturally sensitive and appropriate manner. So as I end, I look to scripture again, English Standard Version, Proverbs 11:3, where it talks about the integrity of the upright guides them being believers. Crookedness of the treacherous destroys them. And so informed consent and ethical practices gives the counselor an expectation of integrity, and integrity for believers to act in a Christ-like manner to all. And so I want to end just with that scripture that we will walk with integrity. Thank you.